Chrysler Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and a crowd of over 13,000 to see Iowa and Michigan. Let's look at the McDonald's starting lineup. For Iowa, Wade Lookingbill had the game-winning shot Saturday against Michigan State. As a starter, he's averaging over 9 points a game. Tom Davis closing in on a record for most wins in Iowa, challenging Luke Olson with 148 victories. He trails by 20. The starting lineup for Michigan, Jalen Rose keeps this young, emotional team in sync. He is their second leading scorer at 15.5 points a game. And keeping him in sync is Steve Fisher, now in his 4th full year. He already has a remarkable record, 90 wins, only 36 losses. The first game between these two teams won by Iowa. They won it 88-80 at Iowa City, and look at the difference in the free throws. They made 30 compared to 6 for Michigan. That's a 24-point swing.
Well, you know, Iowa was taking the ball inside, really driving and slashing, and that was a very emotional game. That was their first game at home after the passing of Chris Street. One of my favorite players, Mike. His emotion and his intensity was so special. And you got to remember this, as a basketball player, he averaged 14 points a game, had 9 rebounds a game, and they had such an emotional lift after that game. They ran and they gave the basketball to Mr. and Mrs. Street after the game.
And it's certainly been an emotional roller coaster for this team since then. They've been up, they've been down. Val Barnes on the year, 15.6 points a game really doesn't tell the story, because when he gets going from three-point range, he can light it up with anybody.
Dr. Tom Davis, in his 7th year, has really done a solid job, had a great year. His first year, won his first 18 games as the coach. It was 30-5.
Steve Fisher didn't do too bad in his first shot at it either.
Unbelievable, going undefeated, 6-0, and then they had to wait a while whether they're going to give him the job or not, and they finally realized this guy won a national title.
Weber and Earl to jump center. And Juwan Howard chases it down. Weber, excellent three-point shooter, dumps it low to Howard, triple team, rims out, but Jackson there for the rebound.
Jackson is becoming a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end. He's a solid defender on the perimeter.
Averages 8 points a game. Number 13 is Monteer Glasper, who has been starting at the point guard spot. Winters drives baseline and across the baseline out of bounds.
Interesting matchup to start the game. Jalen Rose will be defending against Val Barnes. Jalen is not Steve Fisher's best defensive player. It basically is Jimmy King on the perimeter.
Yes, he does have a remarkable height advantage, 6'8" over.
They got to change defenses constantly out of a little half-court trap.
Glasper with a steal, kicks it back to Barnes. Jackson is right there, and he's off and running.
Glasper did a good job giving the basketball up. Since he's been inserted in the starting lineup at the point guard spot, they're 5-0. A little token pressure right now. Trying to bring the ball up the sideline, and he'll rotate into his zone.
A.C. Earl with his first rebound.
Howard trying to get up the court quickly.
Earl. Winters with a follow.
They're an outstanding rebounding team. In fact, they lead the nation, Mike, in margin of the difference between their offensive and defensive rebounds has been sensational, and they do a great job rebounding as a team. Lead the nation.
14 rebounds a game, better than the opponent. That's remarkable.
That's incredible. Year in and year out, though, the Iowa team is always up there in rebounding.
The three won't go for Jackson. Loose ball. With Iowa basketball, they try to push it at both ends of the court. Barnes, there you see the height disadvantage. Lookingbill for three. Offensive rebound, Winters.
If they don't block out Michigan, they'll get crushed on the glass, because Iowa really attacks the offensive board. What they do really well is they recognize where a guy's shooting from, and they really work on that in practice, attacking from the opposite side.
5-1 in the rebound department already.
Playing man-to-man right now, Iowa. They keep changing their defensive look.
Howard with a power move. against Looking Bill.
He's got quick feet on the inside. Glasper does a nice job running the ball up the court.
Winters working against Howard. Double team. Strips got it back. And Earl is going to reset.
A.C. Earl's not a pretty player, but he's a productive player.
No, you wouldn't want to teach another kid to do it his way. Winters. Foul. They're pointing at Weber.
Winters has got the great legs. Tremendous bounce off the floor. Chris Weber had a very, very tough first half against Ohio State. It's hard to believe he didn't score a point.
Only the second time in his career he went with a half without scoring.
They bring it inside. There's the contact, and Weber's one of the great shot blockers in college basketball.
And Winters, the poorest of the starters from the free throw line, already has 4 points, both on offensive rebounds.
He's playing the number 3 position. Kenyon Murray's on the sideline. Kenyon asked to go to the sideline. He thought he could help the club a little better coming off the bench.
And another factor, Winters was the roommate of Chris Creek. Hits and balls. It's 8-4 Iowa early over Michigan.
Notice how they don't go to a trap. He just stays in the middle, just to take them out of a rhythm of bringing the ball up the court and moving the basketball effectively.
That new face was number 52, Russ Millard. The three-pointer, Jimmy King.
They gave the three-point shot, played very soft on the wings out of their zone, and King delivers it.
Of course, that's the dilemma you face when trying to defense Michigan. They're so strong inside, and yet they have the outside game, too.
Well, you got to make adjustments, and you got to be able to adjust to their strength, and their strength is certainly their power on the baseline.
Winters trying to get by Palenka. A little pull-up jumper won't go. Juwan Howard the rebound. And it's King.
He's very explosive with the basketball. See, the one good sign right now for Iowa.
Palenka had it blocked.
One good sign for Iowa, Mike, is they're forcing it into a half-court game. They don't want it to become a transition up and down and open the floor for Michigan.
Jay Webb has the ball. He also had the block at the other end. Webb double-teamed at the baseline. Forced to put it up and had it stuck from behind. Weber handling the ball, and he is fouled by Glasper.
That's where he really excels, bringing the ball up the court after grabbing the ball off the glass and getting them into transition.
We've got a timeout, 8-7 Iowa with 15:56 to go first half. Iowa by 1 over Michigan early.
We're going to take a look at right now. Iowa's trying to establish good offensive rebound and position. Watch how they reverse the ball out here. Now watch right here. Freeze it. See, watch this right here. How he's going to get into the lane, and this guy does not block him out. Now watch right here. The ball goes up. Freeze it. See, look at the inside position that he has. He's inside. Poor job right there. Nobody blocks him out. Winters gets to the inside. He gets the lane on the offensive glass, and that's why they lead the nation in rebounding margin. I mean, it's incredible, Mike. 44.5 rebounds a game to their opponent's 31.4.
And Michigan second in the Big Ten in that category. Howard again low, had it blocked. There was contact before the shot. Let's see if they get A.C. Earl with it.
You talk about a shot blocker. A.C. Earl broke the school record last year, 121 block shots. He only has 70 this year, but the reason people are not bringing the ball into him. They get it out of the lane, but they make contact. Howard goes to the line.
Howard, who had 18 points, 16 rebounds against Ohio State over the weekend.
He came out of Chicago, was an outstanding high school player in Chicago, and had Illinois not been facing all the controversy and all the problems with the NCAA investigation, he really probably would have been an Illinois player.
Averaging 14.5 points, 7.5 rebounds in the ball game, and a pretty good free throw shooter.
That'll make Lou Henson really feel nice. He possibly could have had him. Look at Weber playing out front here, trying to get into a trap.
This is Kevin Smith, who is in at point guard, and he is fouled by Jimmy King, who got him with the body.
Kevin Smith's really been playing a lot better, Tom Davis told me. He's accepted the role coming off the bench and backing up Glasper.
And he has had only 20 turnovers in 13 Big Ten games.
He's got great quickness. He might be the quickest guy in college basketball from one end to the other with the basketball.
With Glasper in that starting lineup, Iowa is 5-0.
Michigan keeps switching defensively. Start out with Weber on Earl, and now they rotate to Howard on him.
Jim Bartles and Russ Millard in Tom Davis's lineup.
He goes to the bench. He played a lot of people.
You have to at that tempo. Long-range shot by Kenyon Murray ahead to King.
Showtime, Little Jam City. And the reason that happened, Iowa did not rotate back in their offensive team balance. They did not get back the offset guard in their offensive set.
Michigan with a 10-8 lead. Not a lot of offensive firepower on the floor right now for the Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes like to run that flex offense, a lot of baseline cuts off the baseline.
A.C. Earl in a physical battle with Juwan Howard, and he'll lose that one.
They got Weber and a mismatch. Look, he's got little Smith on him.
And they can't get him the ball, and now Iowa covers up. Finally get it to Weber. Spins and he walks. Boy, Dick, you were right. It looked like he had somebody hanging on in his hip pocket.
Yeah, he had a little Smith on him. That's a big M&M or a total mismatch, but they don't recognize him being open down in the box. Boy, the Big Ten really coming down to some interesting matchups now. 4 teams are locked for the NCAA when I talk Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Indiana. And then there are 5 other clubs. I believe 3 of them are getting.
Val Barnes back in the game over Palinka. He is 2 for 2.
They got to get him some shots.
He's one of those guys you never saw a shot he didn't like, Dick.
I'll tell you this, he's a very streaky shooter, and when he's got that rhythm, you get him the basketball.
10-10 with 13:53 to go.
There's Iowa sitting in that zone now. Starts out as a 1-2-2. Jalen Rose for 3. Jalen Rose. I'll tell you one thing. You talk about versatile. He can play anywhere in the backcourt and also swing to the 3 slot as well.
I asked Steve Fisher about his unusually high number of turnovers and the fact that they sneak up on you a little bit as A.C. Earl gets the layup. He said, yeah, he's got to do a better job of protecting the ball, but some of those turnovers are he's thinking so far ahead he throws a pass where somebody ought to be, and they're not there yet.
Well, the other problem is he tries to be a little too spectacular at times, especially in transition. That was excellent penetration by Barnes and dumping it over to A.C. Earl.
Rose faking the three-pointer this time.
I like this Iowa team. I like the composition of it. I loved it when they had Chris Street. I thought they were a really special team. I mean, a top 7 team.
Michigan being very patient with the basketball, and Rose with a runner. Earl really fought for that rebound.
Earl can run the floor as well.
Smith kicks it up, back to Barnes for 3.
Smart play by Smith. He knows Barnes is a hot guy, kicks it back to him.
Weber in the middle behind the back.
He's got a lot of showbiz, a lot of mustard. Get out the hot dog, baby.
Smith back the other way.
He said, Weber, baby. How do you like this one?
What a shot by Smith.
I mean, that's the kind of shot you use in the game of horse. Now we're going to watch him right here. Now he takes the ball right at King, a little spinning reverse, and it goes down. I tried that shot in the pregame, and it didn't go down for me, Mike. There it is. I mean, that's a little prayer time right there. I mean, give me a break.
Has a chance for a three-point play and could put Iowa up by 2. Jerry Bosco will come in for the first time for Michigan. And King will go out with 2 fouls.
Bosco had some big games in the postseason last year, especially against Cincinnati. Made some big plays. You know, Michigan trying to run the table to get a #1 seed. Steve Fisher told me before the game he certainly would love that. But Arizona, if they run the table, I believe will be the #1 seed out in the West. But they got a tough date coming up with California at California.
Got an official timeout as Juwan Howard appears to be in discomfort.
Well, you know, Eric Riley's been out with an ankle injury, did not play against Ohio State. Spoke to him before the game. He told me he's going to try to give it a shot here tonight. They had a cast on his foot, took it off on Monday.
Said the doctors would prefer they not play him too much, but they would like to see how that ankle reacts. Here comes Iowa's full court pressure. Howard inbounds to Weber.
Weber shooting 40% from three-point range.
Isn't that something?
Only 50-some% on a free throw line. There's that zone. Point guy up on the ball, and then he'll slide inside when the ball goes to the wing. Yeah, the ball moves. Watch number 23 slide down inside.
Good ball movement to Jackson from Jalen Rose. Missed the shot. Weber offensive rebound. He's clobbered.
Weber gets most of his shots off the offensive glass or in transition. He doesn't really get a lot of shots in what you call the half-court offense.
Graduate student Eric Luckenbill will get the foul. Wade Luckenbill. There's Eric Riley.
Eric Riley was one of my all-Havliceks, made my all-six-man team. Nice player to have on a bench. When he walked by tonight, I was talking to Dr. Tom Davis, and the doctor said, how would you like to have that guy as a sixth man?
Could end up being a first-round draft choice as a non-starter.
Second round at best.
Weber, all right. I vow to greater knowledge. 14-14. Back in a moment.
Houston, McCaffrey had 35 the other day, and Allen Houston certainly a lock to be a lottery selection.
Iowa trying for Winters on the home run. Howard got away with a push. Winters blocked, got it back, blocked, and he's fouled. Boy, they do battle on the board.
Winters is a tenacious rebounder, very intense competitor. Steve Fisher's got to be a little disappointed the way they handled the attack of their full-court man-to-man defense. They released the guy, had him almost for a layup.
Foul on Juwan Howard.
Oh, you think about Steve Fisher, incredible. Wins a national championship, takes over for Bill Frieda, wins the national title, then he gets 5 freshmen, and they go to the last game, the Fabulous 5. I mean, think about that achievement with 5 freshmen. Look at that tournament record. Unbelievable.
Not too bad. Winters misses the free throw. Tied at 14 with 11:51 to go, first half of play.
Dr. Tom Davis never lost a first-round game in the NCAA tournament. He's been in a tournament 5 of the last 6 years. He's 5 of 6 years, rather, in Iowa. He'll be 6 out of 7 this year. Last 2 years, he lost to the Dukies in the second round. What a that is. That's right. Who has it?
7 out of 15 points for Iowa belong to James Winters.
Well, now they change the look at that zone.
Bosco hits the 3.
They go to a 2-3 setup, and the wings are going to be open in the zone, but you got to be able to knock them down. Bosco has that kind of range.
A.C. Earl back in the game. Boy, they've been all over him when he's touched the ball. Here's the steal and a jump. Ray Jackson reached in and got the ball.
Well, they like the idea to see A.C. Earl way out on the wing, and he doesn't seem to be comfortable in that situation.
Possession arrow will give the ball back to the Hawkeyes.
I tell you, life doesn't get easy in the Big Ten. Every game is tough. Just ask Gene Katie when here comes Northwestern down to Purdue. Ask Bobby Knight when Penn State at Penn State when they got that win. Put an asterisk on that win.
Barnes really hasn't been able to get on track. He's only had 3 shots tonight. One, a three-pointer that he missed. The only one he missed. A.C. Earl trying to work his way in. Not a pretty-looking effort there. Really forced it.
I say uncanny, though. It almost went in.
Jackson, nice pass to Weber. Has a little trouble controlling it, then missed it. Howard. King kept it alive. Then Weber lost it out to Iowa.
There's some power inside, climbing on that glass. Physically wear you down. Chris Weber, to me, is so strong around the basket. They got to find a way to get him the ball more along the block.
Russ Millard and Kevin Smith check back in for Iowa.
Russ Millard sat out the first semester, Mike, for academic reasons. Last year, he was a redshirt. Here comes Eric Riley.
Riley, who sprained the ankle and had a cast on it. They're trying to find out what kind of mobility he has on that and if he's in any pain.
He's from out of St. Joseph's out in the Cleveland area. We talked about how they produced there. Clark Kellogg is on the Ohio State fame. Now with ESPN.
Bosco is 6'8", coming out on Barnes, so he's had somebody 6'8" or bigger on him the entire game.
Well, Michigan has so many big guards with Jalen Rose out there and Jimmy King. That's to reverse the ball. Nice ball reversal.
Got him free this time. Missed his shot, however. Kicked away and saved. Good effort by Riley.
Here's Jackson. He's become a little bit more assertive offensively.
Jalen Rose. Nice head fake to get free.
That's where he's so tough. If he can make that dribble move and get into the lane, he is so effective in that 3-second area.
Jalen Rose has 5.
They like to run that horizontal cut. See that cut right along the baseline?
Winters had it knocked away and stolen by Jackson. Nice cut pass back to Jackson from Jalen Rose.
That's a big-time transition basket. That's just incredible basketball timing. Jalen Rose with a nice cut pass.
And Jackson already has 2 steals.
Jackson did a great job finalizing.
He's a terrific transition player.
They're an excellent transition team. You've got to keep them away from running with the ball.
Boy, nice move by Webb to get by Riley.
Webb's been an up-and-down player, been a little inconsistent in his career, but he's got some good experience, and he's very strong on the baseline.
Riley, fall away.
Got that nice soft touch for a big player.
Barnes quickly back the other way. Well, he won't pass on the shot, I'll tell you that.
Well, I was 1 against 4. Nobody was in rebounding position.
Bosco for 3. Howard. And he's fouled.
Juwan Howard with that big wide body working the glass. Look at him. He's an emotional leader. He said, let's go. Let's go. Look at this. Look at him. I love these kind of emotional players. And they love it here. The Wolverine fans say, that's our guy. Now here's Bosco with the jumper. Now Juwan Howard goes to work. He gets in the trenches. He keeps it alive. He says, I know they lead the nation in rebounding, but I can rebound too, baby. And look at this. Look at the reaction. The emotion. The intensity. That's what college basketball, when you get your body intense and you compete, you can get so much out of it.
5 points, 5 rebounds for Juwan Howard. And Dick, let me offer this up. He is not the most physically gifted of Michigan's players, but right now, I think he may be their best player.
I'll tell you, the most physically gifted, obviously, is Mr. Weber. The one scout told me he would be his first choice for the NBA draft. Look at Steve Fisher. I like that, Juwan. I like that. You keep playing like that, you make me coach of the year, Juwan. I love that.
26-17, biggest lead of the ball game for the Wolverines.
Big possession right now. Iowa needs to score. The AC Earls playing out on the perimeter. They're going to slide it to the box inside. There it is.
And they collapse all over him. A bad pass.
Showtime.
Weber misses the finger roll and will get the offensive foul, his second.
Tommy O'Neal with the call. O'Neal worked in the NBA for a year.
1 pass too short. Could have gone back to Rose, and he was wide open. Crowd doesn't like it. Looking Bill back in the ball game, and that's a big turnover there. Could have been 28-17.
They came back on it. It was down 10 at home to Michigan State in their last game and came back and won it.
Bartles with an air ball on the 3.
And he's a three-point shooter. Weber trying to post inside against Earl. They're trying to steal off.
Jalen Rose, who would rather penetrate, does.
Hit it and he's fouled. Got that nice little baseline jumper. Then he goes through a little emotional.
7 for Jalen Rose.
Now here he is going to work the baseline. Got that great size to shoot over the top of most little guards. You know, you look at Michigan, and you think about their season in terms of goals. I got to believe one of their goals was to go down there and beat Duke and Duke. I got to believe another goal, obviously, was to win the Big Ten. Another goal was to win that Rainbow Classic with Kansas and Carolina. They're 1 for 3, and their master goal is to win the national title. And they will really be there right in the hunt, I firmly believe, at the end, Mike.
7:57 to go in the half. Michigan leads by 12.
After the turnover, one of the basic ways to run, force the turnover. There's the turnover. Jackson creates it, and now he's going to play a little two-man game with Jalen Rose as they're going to run the ball up the court. Right here, now watch this. Freeze it. right here. There's a great dump pass. It was dumped in by Mr. Rose, and now he dumps it to him, and there's the conversion. An excellent transition play created by Jalen Rose's touch pass, but initiated by the steal by Mr. Jackson.
4 turnovers for Iowa tonight, and it seems that each one has cost them. Looking Bill against full court pressure, gets it to Glasper.
Michigan trying to speed up the tempo of the game, go to a little full court man-to-man.
Michigan on a 15-2 run in the last 3.5.
They're so athletic. And when they lock up defensively, they can create a lot of problems. The AC Earl really taking a pounding. They're pushing the ball away out to the perimeter. You'd love to keep him out here.
He had a place you can breathe.
He had a big game in the first matchup against Michigan. Now he's going to slide. There's a double up.
Shot clock is down to 10 seconds. Earl dumps it low. Here's the block, and we got a foul. Offensive. Kenyon Murray tried to take it in and picks up the foul.
Kenyon Murray was Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan. Now he's going to try to challenge right here, and here comes Weber. Weber really closes the angles really well.
And Pelinka stood his ground and picked up the charge.
You know, Murray, an outstanding player, had 13.7 rebounds in the first matchup. Steve Fisher told me today, he said, I wanted him badly. He said, but everybody convinced him that he couldn't play with us because we had everybody back.
Full court pressure. Howard gets it in.
See, the worst thing for Iowa is to fall back in big numbers and then have to go and trap all over the place because that's Michigan. They love to spread the court and look for the jam and attacking that full court trap. Iowa sitting in his zone.
Howard in the lane.
Howard got right into the gap and steam in that zone.
Here's the steal, Weber. Pelinka back to Weber. Couldn't hold it, but Bosco has it. Oh, nice steal by Monteer Glasper.
Glasper was an outstanding quarterback on a high school level, was all conference, but he decided to say bye-bye to football. I want to play basketball. Won the starting job, and they've been 5 and 0 since he was inserted by Dr. Tom into the starting lineup.
Well, if they're going to make it 6-0, they got a way to go. There's the turnover story so far.
You know, I keep calling him Dr. Tom. He got his thesis. You ready for this? He got his doctorate from Maryland in sports and colonial America. Unbelievable.
Have you read it?
No. All right. Too deep for me.
A.C. Earl may have gotten away with a walk, but he finally gets the bucket.
I'll tell you, not pretty at all. I mean, it's got to be the ugliest way of scoring, but he's so productive when you look at his numbers, and that's why he'll be an NBA first-rounder.
Rose, 1-on-4. It doesn't matter tonight.
I'll tell you, when he gets into that kind of mold and that kind of rhythm, and he gets the ball in deep, he's getting the ball deep, and when he can get it 12 feet from the goal, he's got that nice rotation.
Jalen Rose has hit 4 of 5 shots from the floor, has 10 points, and Juwan Howard was mugging A.C. Earl.
And he says, who, me? I mean, absolutely, you're being very kind when you use that term. Now watch this right here. I mean, you talk about, he's going to run a horizontal screen. Look at this right here. Now he's going to push him out of bounds. There's the first bump. Then he's going to bump him again. And finally, Mr. Hightower says, come on, Juwan, you can't hold him.
He gave him the first 2, didn't he?
Yeah, he allowed him to. But 3 is strike out.
3 Michigan starters have 2 personal fouls here in the half. Might be a factor down the line.
Iowa's got to find a way to get a little momentum, a little run.
Barnes trying to get away from somebody at 6'8".
Michigan playing well. Really playing tough defensively.
A.C. Earl pushed by Juwan Howard. That's his 3rd.
That puts a lot of pressure now on using Riley more minutes than what they would like. Now there's the contact. Look at Juwan. He says, come on, let us play. Let us play. I don't know about that call.
No, that wasn't much.
I don't know about that call. There's Steve doing some coaching on the sideline. Replace Bill Frieda, who, by the way, would be my choice right now in the Pac-10. Coach of the year. What a job he's done to have Arizona State second in that conference after losing Mario Bennett, losing Jamal Faulkner, and he has them there really in position possibly to get an NCAA berth.
A.C. Earl may have improved more since his freshman to senior year than anybody in major college basketball.
I'd say it's amazing when you look at his numbers and you see the way he performed. Like I said, it's not pretty, but it's productive.
33-21. Iowa trying to get down to single digits before we go to the half. 5.5 minutes to go first half right now.
Michigan has a tendency to always have a spurt where they get a little lackadaisical and allow clubs to sweep a little back at them.
Voskuhl, an off-balance jumper. Jackson, nice step in, had it knocked away. And here's Looking Bill, gets it out to Barnes, who kicks it to Smith.
Looking Bill, a very aggressive play. Oh, nice!
Pass the winner.
That is Michigan-style basketball. The transition game, the lob, the jam. Gabe Withers got great lead.
Like you said, it was Michigan-style basketball. I assume it's also Iowa's.
Yeah, they like to run with it as well. They really do. There's that zone, 1-2-2 set. Then watch Winters slide down inside. C-23 slide inside. Then he comes back out with the ball's up on top. Try to match on the wings, take away the wing jump shot.
Weber for three. Jackson tried to keep it alive, got it back. Good hustle by Jackson.
I'll tell you, Michigan really working at last. Oh, what a monster match. You talk about physical and power, baby. I mean, that is a powerful jam.
Weber gets the stuff after Jackson had 2 offensive rebounds.
I think they're trying to really respond to the challenge that Iowa's the best rebounding team in the nation.
Here comes Jackson. Nice decision to come back outside.
That was written all over the backboard inside.
Jalen Rose nearly got the bucket. He does pick up the foul.
I was teasing Steve Fisher in the locker room. He had this blackboard with all the stats and the rebounding totals. And I said, they read all this stuff. I said, I just want to play basketball. He said, well, at least I feel that I'm doing my job preparing them for the game.
Michigan winning the battle of the boards. It wasn't that way early. Iowa got off to a fast start. Rose, a 72% free throw shooter, will go to the line. #1 all-time freshman scorer in this school's history. He outscored Weber a year ago.
Played a solid game against Ohio State. They needed more offensive power from Mr. Rose and also Howard because Weber was struggling in that first half. Tough loss for the Buckeyes after beating Indiana in that real unbelievable game last Tuesday.
Here's a guy that wants the ball with a game on the line, and not too many people you'd rather have it than Jalen Rose. Here's Jackson with another offensive rebound.
They're beating Iowa at their strength. Iowa's strength is offensive rebounding, but right now, tonight, Michigan is winning that battle.
Barnes cut off again. Glasper, nice save.
They're really locking up on Barnes, not giving him a lot of good looks at the basket. Jackson's playing him now. See, Jackson's a better perimeter defensive player.
Shooters need shots, and Val Barnes hasn't been getting them.
You need a good look at the basket.
Millard had it blocked by Riley.
Millard's got a lot of strength to his body. Iowa next year is getting depleted on that baseline, losing some quality people in A.C. Earl and company.
And Millard will pick up a pushing foul underneath. His second.
Millard's going to try to make that baseline drive, taking the ball right in that traffic, attacking Riley, and then they get a little push on him. So you hold. Hightower's knee? Look at this Millard's knee.
I'm not sure it was him after seeing 3.
I'm not sure either.
Riley at the line.
This guy was a starter before all these guys arrived. You know, he was the last part of that 1989 National Championship team. He sat that year out. He was a red shirt, but he has a championship ring.
Millard nearly taken away by Weber. Boy, Michigan's defensive pressure has been terrific tonight.
They really played a lot of good help defense as well tonight, bodying up. They know the strengths. They know Earl and Barnes have been the strengths, and have really done a great job neutralizing them.
Making the other guys out there try to beat him, and that's not easy.
There's Iowa now trying to get a little ball movement. Glasper, their point guard.
Shot clock at 10. Weber nearly had another steal from Glasper. Millard lost it, but he fouled. And they've got Pelinka for the hold.
Now you think about number one seeds. Right now you have to think if you did it today, Indiana's a lock to be the number one seed in the Midwest. You would have to give Kentucky the number one seed in the Southeast, where Michigan would love to go, because the two times that they got to the Final Four finals, they were in the Southeast. But that'll be Kentucky. You'd have to think about North Carolina's a lock at this date to be the number one seed in the East. And in the West, Arizona right now would probably be the number one seed, even though Michigan plays tougher competition.
But North Carolina's got a pretty tough road to go down. They play Wake Forest tomorrow night, a game you'll see on ESPN. Then they have Duke this weekend, and then the ACC tournament. But I don't think Dean Smith is counting his chickens quite yet.
No, Dean had a nice happy birthday, 62 on Sunday.
Bake the cake and send it to Chapel Hill. 37-25. Back in a moment. Running third.
Steve Holt's got a big day to go after that game with St. John's. Brian Mahoney's my choice coach of the year in that conference. Pat Kennedy in the ACC for the job he has done. And I'll tell you right now, in this conference, my coach of the year, I'm going to Wisconsin. Deuce Jackson, what a job he has done with that team, putting him in position to be an NCAA team. Unbelievable what he's done down there in his first year.
Let me get on the bandwagon that you're usually on. How about Bob Knight for coach of the year?
I'll tell you what.
I think he's done a sensational job with those kids.
I agree with you, but you know, if I say to General Bob Knight, I get a lot of mail. So right now,
I'll say it.
Bobby makes a lot of money, so we don't have to give him another trophy.
I'll be happy to say it. 2:12 to go first half. Shot clock at 10 for Jalen Rose and the Wolverines. 1-4 set, and Rose will try to do it himself.
See, Iowa right now, you're thinking about psychologically get this game in single digits. Michigan not allowed to put the killer punch. This goes down. This is big.
Kenyon Murray hits the three.
Just that little dry spurt I was talking about that Michigan usually goes through. They had that nice lead, and then they got a little lackadaisical. Now look at this timeout at the end.
Didn't want to lose the ball on the turnover for a 5-second count, so Palenka calls the timeout with 1:41 to go.
You know, Mike, three conferences have had 7 teams in the past in the NCAA tournament. The SEC had 7 in 1989, the Big Ten had 7 in 1990, and the Big East in 1991. I think this year there'll be 7 out of the Big Ten, and deservedly so. There are 9 in position to get those 7.
37-28. Iowa has cut the lead to single digits at 9.
In 1990, Indiana got into the tournament, and they were at that time 8-10 in a conference. But I have a problem with being under 500 getting into the postseason.
The Delta Faucet halftime report coming up. A look at Rodney Rogers, one of the great players in the country, in a Big East battle between Connecticut and Providence. Rodney Rogers can play with anybody.
Hey, I was talking to Brad Greenberg today, the scout for the Portland Trail Blazers, and he just went on with all kinds of adjectives describing Rodney Rogers.
Wake will take on Carolina tomorrow night. Of course, we're just drooling over the fact that the ACC tournament is coming up in 10 days.
I know. I'm going to be eating my heart out that you're down there. But I'll be working with my guy, Mr. Saunders, in the studio, and be excited in there and having a lot of fun and really looking forward to seeing what's happening at Sports America. Championship week is always special, Mike.
Michigan's biggest lead in this ballgame was 14 at 31-17. Since then, it's been cut to 9. And MC Hammer, now known just as Hammer.
Yeah, he's going to be at the ESPY Awards. I'm going to run around here with my Polaroid camera, get some pictures. Dustin Hoffman, Hammer, Ariel Hemingway, Bill Murray, and one of my favorite comics. You know the guy hosting the show, baby. Dennis Miller. I'm going to be at Cloud 9 there. I'm going to run around like a little kid. Like,
You're always on Cloud 9. Michigan is taking it to Iowa on the boards, and Iowa, the #1 team in the nation with a rebounding margin. Here's that full court press. Jackson beats it, and Iowa hustles back on defense.
See, right now you need a defensive stop. You really got to come up with a stop now.
Palenka and Vosco we've seen a lot of times tonight. And Jackson has had a very, very solid ball game.
Well, the #1 option offensively right now on the floor for Michigan is Jalen Rose. They're trying to sneak him along that baseline. So you got to really find him and match up with him.
Michigan has shown a lot of patience tonight on offense. Shot clock down to 9.
Palenka can shoot the deep shot.
Dumps it into the lane. Bosco with a turnaround jump shot. Palenka kept it alive.
Solid defensive effort right there. The team concept was right there for Iowa. They came up with an excellent stop.
I'd love to give Val Barnes a 3 here.
I would go to A.C. Earl right now. Without Howard on the floor, I'd go to Hurl. He's being played by Bosco. He's got to run the floor.
On him at 6'8", 204.
He's got to slide inside, A.C.
Can't pass as Glassford tried to throw it cross court. Jackson to Palenka. There's a block. No goaltending, and the crowd is on his feet.
That's a bad call. That's a goaltender.
Barnes, what a great move, but he missed his shot, and here comes Rose. How could that not be goaltending?
Yeah, they missed that, baby. No question.
King with the save to Bosco. Here's Jackson. Partially blocked by Earl. Palenka will bring it out. Try a 3.
He knocks down the trifecta after all the tries with the jam.
The desperation shot at the half nearly goes in from Montaire Glassford. So Michigan keeps it in double digits at the half. It's 46-28, and we've got some pushing and shoving in the tunnel as both teams go out that way and now being separated. 12-point game at the half. Let's check in with John Saunders. John? For Michigan is leading number 15 Iowa 40-28. Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale with you. The story of the first half was defense as Michigan really stepped up the intensity, forced 9 Iowa turnovers.
Well, they did a great job on A.C. Earl. They really neutralized the big fella. We take a look at him trying to get post position right here. Watch him getting post position. Freeze it. See, right here. Here he is trying to establish post position. Now, watch this guy run at him. And also, Jalen Rose is going to come in this area and have an intention on him, too. And he's going to take a look at it. There it is. Freeze it. Now, there's the double up. And the reason they double up on the big fella, look at Rose has got his eyes on him as well, is they try to get the ball out of his hands. He only had 4 shots, Mike, in the first half. 6 points, 4 rebounds, and it's pretty tough to beat a team like Michigan if your star player cannot get involved offensively. Then the other side, Jalen Rose played an excellent first half. Watch Rose. I freeze it. See, right here, Rose is going to split the seam of his defense and get right in the middle and get the score. Did a great job getting right into that seam.
Ray Jackson had a big first half for Michigan, 8 points, 5 rebounds. 4 of them were offensive.
I'm going to get on these referees. They started too quickly. They didn't let me finish my demonstrator.
Talking, weren't you?
Unbelievable.
Ray Jackson with a miss. Here comes Val Barnes. He was 2 of 7 in the first half. He has to get on track if this club is going to make a comeback.
The size has really bothered him today. He took advantage of Michigan in that first matchup when he had 27 points. I said to Steve Fisher, who guarded him in game 1? He said, nobody.
That's right.
I said, I didn't look at your roster. There's nobody there by name nobody.
You see that one coming. The 10th turnover for Iowa. Jackson on the run to Howard. Can't handle it. Tosses it back in. Here comes Glassford.
2-on-1. Got to make something happen.
Back to Looking Bill. Jalen Rose did a good job at least slowing the break up, but Looking Bill gets his first bucket.
That Iowa team, though, is really a very spurt-oriented basketball team. That big 3 at the half by Palenka really scares things if that baby doesn't go down, that trifecta.
Otherwise, right now, it's a 7-point game instead of 10. Weber.
Oh, could be
Got away with a push-off. They'll call him for the travel. He just backed in and muscled A.C. Earl out of there. The first half stats, Michigan shooting 48%. Remember, the first game, Iowa had the huge advantage in free throws. Not tonight. Michigan hit 4 out of 7 threes and committed only 5 turnovers.
In game 1, Iowa had 30 points in the free throw line, and Michigan had 6.
A.C. Earl with a 15-footer off balance. Glassford controls for Iowa.
Glassford was involved in that tunnel, that little verbal battle inside.
Jackson rejects Barnes.
So athletic, and there it is. Ooh, try to finalize. They come up empty.
Looking Bill ahead to Glassford. Had Barnes open on the right side, missed him, spins out on his own shot. Winters had a hand on it. Here comes Michigan.
Could be a jam for... Oh, he missed him. I thought he just threw a lob up to Weber, the diagonal pass.
Jalen Rose not looking for a shot at all. Was wide open for 3, didn't want to take it.
Then they play soft on Jalen on a perimeter. Playing man-to-man right now.
He's only shooting 30% from 3-point range.
That's why they're playing soft on him. They don't want him to beat him with the drive.
King will try a tough shot.
I'll tell you, you talk about an underrated player. There's a guy that gives you a defensive effort. He's got great athletic ability, and he's really improving his range as a shooter.
King has 7. Earl playing a long way away from the basket.
See Earl staying on the perimeter. Now he's going to try to slide inside.
At least if he goes outside, he takes Weber with him, and you can see Earl getting frustrated. Missed the shot.
He beat Weber there, though. He stripped him, taking the ball to the basket.
Follow will count by Barnes inside, and he draws the foul.
Offensive rebounding again. Recognizing where the opening is. Now there's a little move by A.C. Earl to the goal. Now Val Barnes working on the offensive boards. Comes right in, gets a great head fake. Oh, Jalen left something on the floor.
And they called the foul on A.C. Earl. The basket counts to cut the lead to 10, but Earl picks up his second foul as he is really being physical inside, as are anybody who defends him from Michigan.
Michigan really doesn't put on that knockout punch. They don't really put you away.
That's a difficult concept for younger players to grab. Howard backing in. Blocked by Earl.
A.C. Earl had 121 blocks last year. He's the career leader in the Big Ten.
That's his first tonight.
First block shot. Well, you know, in fairness to him, they don't bring the ball at him that much, Mike. There he is now. He's saying, no, see how he keeps his ground? He doesn't leave his feet. Great timing right there by Earl.
And that's the key to shot blocking, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't leave your feet on that head fake or the ball fake. There's that zone defensively. Murray up on top.
Rose with a great head fake, enabling him to get right down the gut of the defense.
Well, if he can get down the heart of the defense, they got to beat him in that spot. He's splitting the seam of that zone.
44-32.
What I like about Jalen tonight, he's not taking bad shots. He knows what a good shot is.
Kenyon Murray down the lane with the left hand.
He's going to be a big-time player at Iowa. This freshman, this diaper dandy. At 8 rebounds, career high against Michigan State in their win the other day.
Rose gives it up to Jackson. Good entry to Weber. Missed the jam. Smith pushed out of bounds by Weber. He's getting frustrated, too.
He has to work a little bit more and a little more versatility to his game, a little variety rather than just a jam.
Barnes can't hit the runner. Every time Iowa needs the big bucket, they can't seem to hit it.
Michigan usually has an answer.
Weber for 3. Earl, nice rebound over Howard.
Long arm, kept the ball alive.
A.C. Earl with 5 rebounds tonight.
There's a penetrator. He's got good quickness.
Val Barnes has Ray Jackson on him right now. That Wallace guy has parted them all night.
Earl, how about that shot? Is that ugly? Is that ugly? That looks like my shot, but you know what, A.C.? Keep shooting them like that as long as they tickle the twine.
His go in, Dick.
I know, that's the difference.
44-36. Iowa's cut it to 8.
A lot of guts and heart on his Iowa team.
Weber can't handle the lob from Howard.
Remember that big comeback against Michigan State? 15 down with 3.5 to go?
Smith. Boy, that's a tough shot. Millard jump ball. The Michigan crowd wants a foul. Instead, they get the jump ball. The possession arrow will give it back to the Wolverines. Back. Tough night for Weber.
Yeah, he's only had 3 points and 2 rebounds. It's hard to believe this big, strong, physical, dominant player. He bricks that baby. And now on the other side, we're going to watch A.C. Earl. He's got Howard playing him. He spins to the baseline. He hangs, he twists, he looks at it. He says, count that, baby. NBN, nothing but nylon.
And Juwan Howard is playing him with 3 personal fouls.
That's why you got to go at Juwan. Try to get that 4th, because Riley now with that ankle problem, he can't possibly be as effective as they would like.
A.C. Earl getting a breather right here.
Oh, nice
down pass. Kenyon Murray with a layup.
What a set play. That's why a lot of teams like to zone on the inbounding of the basketball rather than get bumped on a screen. Murray, great cut without the ball.
The lead is 6. More pushing underneath, and they'll get Webb. His first.
I think Weber also has to learn to be a little bit quicker without the basketball and moving to get it free, Mike, for his shot. He has a tendency to stand around a lot, and then you're easier to defend.
Juwan Howard touched it last, and good defense by Jim Bartles, the sophomore from Freedom, Wisconsin.
This has got to feel that tie is getting a little tighter right now. He sees one of those spurts right now where his team is a little lackadaisical.
The Michigan fans will always tell you, we'll keep the other guys in it somehow. Here's some defensive pressure by Michigan. Smith trying to penetrate.
He's playing under control a lot better this year than he did last year. He had a tendency really to play out of control.
Without Val Barnes and without A.C. Earl, who do you look to score for Iowa right now, Dick?
Well, right now, Murray's got to be one option, and a little penetration by Smith.
Riley comes back in the ball game, and Juwan Howard will get a breather.
I love these little guards. Arizona is so much better now with the way Damon Stoudemire has been playing at their point guard slot.
Looking Bill. Iowa basketball. They're down by 6 with 13:57 to go in the game. Here comes A.C. Earl.
Got to get A.C. on the floor. Can't keep him out too long. He had 19 points in that first matchup. Ball's popped out of bounds by Michigan, by Jackson.
Earl, little turnaround jumper, way short.
That's a forced shot right there against Riley.
Rose with a height advantage. Goes in, missed the shot. Weber offensive rebound. And he's fouled.
And then he shakes his head. Goes through one of his little antics. Gets a little hug. He really scores off the offensive miss. Here's Rose right now. And this is where Weber really excels. He excels. He's so physically strong. I mean, it's no matchup with his body, his strength, his power.
Foul on Bartles, who reached in.
There he is right now. I mean, he'll take the whole Iowa team right to the basket with him. I mean, that's a little mini version of Shaq taking it to the right. What's that at? Shake it ahead. You like that? Like you're laughing.
Not bad.
You like that?
Not bad.
Hammer likes it, too.
6 points for Weber.
No longer MC.
Murray blew the layup opportunity, then throws it up, and he's clobbered.
Yeah, he nonchalanted it. He nonchalanted it. He thought he had the easy one. Kenyon Murray out of Central High School, Battle Creek, Michigan, Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan.
Foul was on Ray Jackson. That's his first. And Murray, who has been a 60% free throw shooter, and the top recruit that Tom Davis has had in Iowa in a lot of people's eyes.
Outstanding. The state of Michigan's been good to Iowa basketball. When George Raveling was there, Rudy Washington had a head coach, and Drake did a great job of recruiting. They got B.J. Armstrong from right here in Michigan. Roy Marble, outstanding player from Michigan. They played on that 30-5 team, Dr. Tom's first year.
Murray, who has 7 points, misses them both.
That really hurts. You're on the road. You got to make those free throws. That's how they beat Michigan in game 1 on the free throw line.
By a bunch. Riley, who had that badly sprained ankle that was in a cast in the ball game, tries to dump it down. It's a save by Jackson, who's had a heck of a ball game.
I'll tell you, he's got excellent athletic ability. Missed a lot of games because of a shoulder injury, but he looks healthy now.
Lead back to double digits, 49-38.
He was that slam by Weber on a missed shot.
A.C. Earl kicks it back to Murray. Good drop step in the lane.
Good flashing move by Kenyon Murray. I like his athletic ability.
Weber helping against the press. The lead cut back to 9.
Well, he gives him another ball handler. He can come back against the pressure with his great size.
They're all so big. It really helps them against the press. They can throw the ball over it.
And they can run and jump.
Riley with a miss. Weber keeps it alive. Powers it back up.
He gets all his shots basically off this shot. Very rare. If you were to chart Chris Weber and evaluate his offensive game and look at his number of shots, very rarely do they come off the half-court game.
And does that go back to what you said earlier, Dick, that he doesn't move well enough without the ball?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think they have to learn how to get him the basketball, but you're right. His motion and using screens and getting free, it's just not there. I think another reason is because he knows he's so talented and he can rely on that missed shot.
Sure. Pelinka will come back into the ball game.
He gives him a steady play on a perimeter. I mean, he's not a sensational athlete, but he can shoot the ball.
And he and Bosco give him some senior leadership. That pass hit and taken by Iowa. The Hawkeyes just hanging around. Smith for three. Out to Michigan. Boy, Val Barnes hasn't been in there in a long time.
You know, I talked to somebody very
He's
close.
back in now.
I talked to somebody very close to the Michigan team. And he told me, he said, these Michigan kids just can't wait for the season to end, and they want to start the march for 6 games and win a national title. He said, that's all they're talking about in the locker room. We can't wait for the NCAA tournament.
I think there's about 15 teams in the country that feel the same way. They just can't wait because that many can win it.
I'll tell you one thing. As Rose shows that he's having a tough time this year shooting the three-point shot, they rose to the occasion and beat Kansas and North Carolina back-to-back in Hawaii.
Smith with a tough pass, but a great catch by Winters. Forced it up, thought somebody might get a piece, and nobody did. It went sailing over the rim.
Jimmy King puts pressure on the defense, running the ball up the court.
Howard. Fierro, that'll be a goaltend after the foul.
Have to release the ball. It'll be a three-point play.
Not a smart play by Ace Fierro.
Not really a heady play right there. As the ball's taken in now, Earl's going to come over from the help side, and there it is. There's the goaltending. He gets the ball on its downward flight. You got to get it going up. It's coming down. No, AC, you're too experienced, too talented.
Millard got his 3rd foul, and Juwan Howard will go to the line.
He has CMS on the back of his head in memory of Chris Street. I'll tell you, Dr. Tom sent me a beautiful picture they had taken with Chris. I got it in the mail, and I remember last year speaking to him, and he just epitomized all the things you wanted in an athlete that we talked about as a coach. Enthusiasm, spirit, hustle, all the intangibles.
He really gave him a lot. 52-40. Michigan back on top by a dozen. 11:27 to go in the ball game, and this is just a sample of what you're getting in 4 days. Championship week. 32 tournament games and 25 conference championships. 24 of the 30 automatic tournament berths, as well as the ACC, the Big 8, the SEC, and the Southwest Conference Finals. Gets underway this Saturday at noon with the Big South Conference title game, Championship Week, Saturday on ESPN.
Watch the Michigan team really attack the basketball. They converge on the ball on the baseline. Right here. Freeze it. See, right here. We got 3 guys. It's unbelievable. Incredible. 3 guys around the basketball.
ACL backing in, double teamed, and he's fouled. King will pick up the personal. That's his 3rd.
You know, I was getting some outstanding recruits. I was talking before the game to Kevin Greavy, one of our favorite players, former Kentucky
Great guy.
superstar, plays the Washington Bullets. He's here doing a game on radio on Mutual. And he was telling me in his town of Hamilton, Ohio, where he's from, Chris Kingsbury, who signed with Iowa, is one heck of a swing player. He rates him very high. They're getting another kid by the name of Jesse Settle from Iowa, and also a kid from junior college by the name of Carter, who they think can play right away.
AC Earl has only had 8 shots from the floor tonight. 9 points, 6 boards.
In fact, they hope that John Carter, can replace AC in the middle. 6'8" player out of Southeastern Community College, Iowa.
Lead is cut to 10. Jimmy King helping against the press. Weber, that may be offensive, and it is. He hooked him.
That's about the first time I've seen him try to catch the ball and do something out of the half-court offense. Now watch him hook him right here. Watch the left elbow. See the left elbow? Right there. That's the NBA move. In the NBA, he'll get away with that. He's also going to get lots of cash.
Get away with anything in the NBA. Nobody's been called for a double dribble or walking in that league in 15 years. Earl. Another ugly-looking shot that goes swish.
A fadeaway. The bottom line is he converts.
3 Michigan starters with 3 personal fouls may yet be a factor.
They get it down to 8.
Closest they've been since Michigan assumed control was 6.
They need a couple of quick threes out of Barnes.
And Juwan Howard fouled by Millard. That will be 4 on Millard in limited playing time.
Well, Millard on the court to give him some physical presence, some toughness.
He looks like he's going to be a good player for us, Dick.
Well, he's an aggressive player, very physical. Hasn't had a whole lot of experience. That last year out was a red shirt. This year had a little problem academically early, so he missed the first semester.
That was the 15th foul in the half, and here's a steal.
Michigan sloppy in bouncing the basketball, and Iowa sloppy in transition.
Had a 2-on-1, and they threw it away. Could have cut it to 6.
Instead, goes up maybe to 10. And there it is, 4-point turnaround. That's a big, big play in this game. Jalen with the reverse layup.
Rose has 14.
Not a good play by Iowa in transition.
Millard is fouled by Weber.
Good cut by Millard without the basketball.
And that's 4 on Chris Weber.
You know, Iowa should have used the bounce pass in their 3-on-1 break. Now here comes Jalen working the baseline. And there it is, hanging and twisting and reversing. Just like he did on the playgrounds down in St. Cecilia, down in Detroit.
A lot of spin on that baby. And here's the foul situation. Weber now goes out with his 4th. Howard and King also with 3. Millard off the bench has 4 for Iowa.
His numbers have really been limited the last 2 games. Chris didn't have a point in the first half against Ohio State. Got 8 in the second half. Ended up with 11 rebounds. But he's such an unselfish player. If that's another rap on the guy, he really isn't interested in scoring a lot of points. He's interested in winning.
Millard, a very good free throw shooter, trying to cut into a 10-point lead.
Well, Iowa a pretty good team on the free throw line, Mike.
Yep.
Good to have you back in hoops, baby.
My pleasure.
I know you're out in Hawaii and the sunshine out there.
You know, this is the only Big Ten building that Tom Davis does not have a win in.
A lot of people don't come in here and get wins, though. Especially when you're facing the likes of Len Rice and Ramil Robinson, and then you go to this era.
They have had some players here, haven't they?
A few.
Missed them both. And Iowa's hurt itself at the free throw line tonight.
Yeah, you know what? Murray came up empty a minute ago, was 0 for 2 on the line as well.
Michigan starting to throw the ball away. Iowa has hit only 9 of 15 from the free throw line. Glasper misses.
Not really a heady play. You got Weber on the sideline. You got to go to Earl right now. With Weber out of the floor, they don't have his physical power and presence inside to bother the big guy.
Riley, nice pass to Howard.
Great cut by Howard. Excellent play. Down the lane, really right down the heart of the defense. Good 2-man play.
Val Barnes finally gets his shot. He hits it. He's fouled by Jalen Rose.
They got to get Val a few 3-point attempts. He knocked 6 down against Penn State with 6 for 6.
Dick, they don't run a lot of screens out there for shooters.
No, they really don't. They move the basketball, a lot of motion. They run a screen along the baseline in their flex cut. Now there's Val Barnes pulling up, shooting a little jumper.
He has hit only 4 of 12 shots, and they must have gotten Jalen Rose for backing into him after the camera was following the ball, because there wasn't any contact up until then. Barnes gets the 3-point play the hard way. 56-47. Barnes with 9.
Michigan having a tough time inbounding the basketball. Very sloppy. That's about the 3rd time tonight they've turned the ball over.
Barnes working against Howard and bounces it off of Riley out of bounds.
See, now you got to recognize strength. Set up a little 2-man game. Barnes and Earl. If they double up on Earl on that side, kick it back out to Barnes for the open shot.
Well, with Weber on the bench with 4 and with Howard playing with 3, this is an opportunity to get Michigan hurting up front.
See, now AC's got to post up strong and want the ball.
Barnes kicks it back outside to Kevin Smith, the junior from Fort Smith, Texas.
1-2-2, set up a high screen.
And it's a pushing foul on King.
This is not one of the great home court places in college basketball in terms of the environment, where the fans are right on top of you, screaming and yelling. Steve Fisher's tried to institute a little bit of that as one section he has the students as he's placed them on the side court, but they don't have a whole lot. It's a lot of alumni who sit here, enjoy the game, but they don't get involved emotionally.
Bosco comes in as King goes out. They get it to Winters. Nice head fake. And he will draw the foul from Ray Jackson.
All you young kids out there, the utilization of the head fake and ball fake can get you to that free throw line. Defenses have a tendency to want to block every shot and react to the head fake.
Well, Winters plays bigger than his 6'5", doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a great jumper. He's got tremendous bounce off the floor.
And there's the free throw story. Iowa finally getting some opportunities
but not converting like they should.
Well, they're in the bonus now. They need to start if they're going to cut into this lead. And this is still the one weakness with Michigan. If it comes down to a close game, they are not a great free throw shooting team.
Iowa's done an excellent job, though, of keeping the game from being an up and down defensive situation in terms of having to get back defensively in transition. They've done a great job of not allowing Michigan to get the numbers.
Winters nearly got that offensive rebound. He knew he had missed the shot, and nobody blocked him out.
Oh, nice pass to bring the ball into the gut of the defense and bring it to the weak side from the strong side. Defense seems to always react to the ball. Ball being the strong side offensively.
Whistle away from the ball. We'll have a holding foul against Iowa inside. They're getting a looking bill for it.
Looking bill.
His first.
He had an outstanding freshman year, and then he had a back problem about a year out.
Still bothered him the year after that. So he is finally healthy again as a senior and a graduate student.
Also, AC Earl's a graduate student as well. And Val Barnes is going to get his degree on time. Great sign there at Iowa. The kids are getting their degrees as well as playing basketball. Bosco. That was good rhythm right there. Excellent ball reversal. Swung the ball. He squared his body. Had the good look at the goal.
Bosco was sixth, and Iowa just cannot threaten Michigan enough.
Every time Earl touches the ball, they run right at him.
Winters powers his way inside.
Nice spin in the lane. Good jump hook. There's the full court pressure.
59-50.
To the trademark of Dr. Tom Davis. Take the ball, bring it to trapping areas. Not trapping as much today.
No, they're really not getting a lot out of it.
No, they're not trapping. That's not their goal. Their goal is to just bother Michigan a little bit and come back and play straight half-court defense, whether it be a zone or whether it be a man-to-man. Now it's man-to-man.
Jackson's down the lane. He's fouled before he takes the shot.
Very difficult to really match up and get good matchups against Michigan because usually a team comes in with a small guard and you got to match up with Jalen and with King. Very difficult.
Kenyon Murray will come back in. Barnes will go out. Been a tough night for Val Barnes.
You know, Dr. Tom Davis did a great job also as we look at him. Got a Lafayette. He was there for 6 years. Then he did an outstanding job also at Boston College. Then he went to Stanford. And it was tough there at Stanford. And then he got the call to come to Iowa. And what a job he has done now in his 7th year. This will be his 6th trip to the big dance.
The numbers on Ray Jackson. Hits the free throw.
He's an improved player.
Yes, he is. Very impressive tonight.
Part of that Texas connection. Jackson and also King. And they signed a player from Houston, an outstanding guard coming there next year, Bobby Crawford.
And Jackson seems to have played much better after coming back off that dislocated left shoulder. Michigan stretches it out to double digits again. 7:43 to go in the ballgame. For Iowa, Dick.
I tell you, they had one great play in their half-court offense that was big here. Keep your eye, as we're going to watch Michigan swinging the basketball, you're going to keep your eye on number 25, Juwan Howard. They'll bring the ball and reverse it. Now watch this as the ball goes to the post. Freeze it. See, watch this right here. Howard's going to go down the gut, and he's already going to look for him for a layup. Watch Howard. Thank you. Juwan with the little backdoor cut, cuts behind the defensive player, and gets the layup because the defensive team did not recognize man and ball. You must see both.
Michigan allowing Iowa to stay in this game. They have 8 field goals in the second half, but 9 turnovers. AC Earl walked.
AC said, wait a minute. He said, look, I didn't pick up my pivot foot. He's talking to Eddie Hightower.
13 turnovers for the Hawkeyes.
He does it in a very cordial way with a smile on his face.
Nearly stolen on the inbounds pass.
Weber back on the floor with the 4 fouls. They didn't lose any part of that lead with him on the sideline.
Oh, this is a deep, talented team. Weber for 3. And we'll have a foul against Winters, pushing off underneath.
Ed Hightower in a baseline makes the call. Winters trying to get good defensive rebound in position.
3 on Winters, and he doesn't like the call.
I tell you, there's some great individual players in the Big Ten. When you think of Glenn Robinson, you talk about a polished offensive player. He just doesn't have enough help around him, enough ammunition. Well, what a solid talent he is.
So Winters picked up his third. And Jackson with 10 points and 9 rebounds tonight.
And he's done a solid job defensively as well, Mike. He's done an excellent job when he's rotated on Barnes, neutralizing Barnes, who had that big game, 27 against Michigan in that 88-80 win.
Well, you know when a program is a strong national recruiter, when they can go into Texas and get players away from that league as good as Texas basketball has developed.
Well, you know, you got the name Michigan in areas right there. Iowa with that good offensive rebounded
That was
position.
Millard with a follow.
They really work on getting position. That's no accident. They drill on that.
Winters nearly got the steal. Millard nearly got it, and then Millard commits the foul, and he has picked up his fifth.
Hustling and diving and scrapping on the floor. He said, come on now, it's 80 feet from the basket. You're going to blow this with all the contact. There's the poise of Dr. Tom Davis. Now the ball's going to be loose. There goes to the floor. He's going for a football. He grabs his foot. He thought it was football. He thought Hayden Fry was watching and take his body to play some football. 4 points, 3 rebounds, a lot of knee floor burns, a lot of skin he gave up. You like that. I like that hairdo. I had a hairdo like that when I was in high school.
It's a distant memory, isn't it?
Hey, you saw those pictures our director brought in today. Kenny found to me when I coached it. You were laughing at my sideburns.
Well, your hair was a distant memory then. That was in 72, wasn't it?
No, it's 77.
You like 63-52, Michigan by 11 under 7 minutes to go. Jackson closing in on career highs for both points and rebounds. Looking Bill for 3. And they need a couple of these badly. Now let's see if Michigan will work on the clock.
Every big basket, Michigan has gotten a big basket whenever I was made a run.
Offensive foul. Weber is gone.
Yep, that's number 5. Got a strong game tonight out of Mr. Weber.
Dick, the one thing I have noticed about Michigan, when they do have a nice-sized lead, they are not very patient about using the clock.
Exactly. They don't use the clock, and they try to get a little bit out of control.
And that's not Steve Fisher's fault.
They try to make this spectacular play.
And look at the numbers on Weber. 6 points and 4 rebounds. He also had 5 turnovers.
Here goes Weber now, dribbling the basketball. See, as soon as he stuck that hand out and made contact, I think that's a good call.
If he doesn't put the arm out, he gets the call.
As that left arm came out. Juwan Howard bumping on Mr. Earl. They're going to dump it into him.
Earl leans into it and got it. A lot of contact, no whistle. The crowd also wanted a walk.
I think it's a good move bringing the ball, though, right into him. Look at Dr. Tom. He wanted the foul. He's up on the sideline.
63-54.
Yeah, Michigan plays now with the lead wide open. He's got to shoot that, baby.
Jackson with a miss. Winters with a rebound, and he is fouled by Vosco.
Stops the clock, allows him to go to the free throw line. Not a heady play.
But you're right about Jackson's wide open shot. You got to take that.
Oh, you got to shoot that shot. Here comes the guy that can hold the key at the end of this game.
You bet.
Right in that right arm of his. I mean, he's an explosive, streaky scorer. At 33 against Penn State, 27 against Michigan. Tonight, they've been right up in his face, Mike, not allowing him to get a good look at the basket. Now Barnes.
And he is really good at shooting the 3 off the fast break. So if they can do that, he can be freed up.
Well, one of the keys in getting your running game going is you got to be able to clearly dominate the glass, and they're not dominating the glass tonight against Michigan.
Winters 4 out of 6 from the line. Far better than his season's average of 59%. (63-55) and Iowa closing in. Tom Davis told me before tonight's game, this will be a test. We'll find out how well we're really playing.
Well, this guy came out of Central High School, Joliet, Illinois. He started a number of games, 11 as a freshman. So he's had some experience.
Winters has 14. The lead cut to 7.
Got to stop the basketball. good move right there, bringing it back out.
Sure was.
See, now Juwan Howard becomes their big option. They're playing Howard and Riley together, a lot of size, but Howard's got to be their guy inside and Rose on the perimeter.
And here's the reach and foul on Winters. That will be his third, is it?
Teams had a lot of fouls, not a whole lot of rhythm to the game. Very physical. Very emotional year this year for Tom Davis. Passing the Chris Street. Certainly put him through a tough time.
That was the fourth foul on Winters, the 10th team foul. So King will shoot 2 instead of the 1-on-1.
Great personalities and how seasoned it is. Come on, now, you became a star. I remember in high school, you're coming over looking for all this PR, all the ink, you're grabbing me, telling me about your high school exploits. Now I walk in, you just basically say hello. He says, no, not me, coach, not me.
King hits them both. 65-56 as we approach 5.5 minutes left.
Getting down to winning time. In game 1 with 4:15 on the clock, Iowa went on an unbelievable spurt to beat Michigan. They were behind.
Earl is clobbered by Riley, who has gotten a lot more minutes tonight than I think anybody thought he would.
I think he's getting a lot of time because of the foul trouble and Weber fouling out. There's Earl now trying to split and take it to the goal, and there's the contact. In that game 1, the emotion was unbelievable. That was their first game back at home after the passing of Chris. And when they came and they played, they were down late in that game, and then with 4:15, they outplayed Michigan to win that basketball game.
A.C. Earl is 5 out of 5 from the free throw line. Now both teams have committed 10 personal.
These numbers right now, they look pretty good.
After a slow start.
At 6 and 4 at halftime. There's the full court pressure. Got to rotate into the trap. There's the diagonal.
55-58.
Excellent play. Bringing the ball diagonally. What a great way to attack the pressure. Throw the diagonal pass, bring the ball over to the weak side, and throw a little lob. Just tremendous. Give him an A, an A+.
And Jalen Rose with a little wink and a smile as Smith was waiting for him coming down court. Iowa still tough on the board. Here's Barnes. What a big wants the 3. Takes the lead back to 9. Smith cut off. And they throw it away as Kenyon Murray got caught in the air.
Not a good play by the freshman taking the ball in there.
14 turnovers for Iowa. 4:29 to go.
Juwan Howard does an excellent job stepping up high.
Howard, A.C. Earl couldn't get it.
Go for it. 2 big plays. Conversions by Michigan. Excellent play. Good execution by Michigan their last 2 possessions.
69-58. Looking Bill for 3.
That's a Kevin Grevey 3. Grevey to my right, smiles.
Big shot by Looking Bill. Cuts it to 8. Here's the pressure. Great play by Pelinka.
I'll tell you, Pelinka made one heady play. That's why he's such a brilliant student. His GPA is probably better than his average as a basketball player.
3:54 to go in the game. Still Michigan by 8.
This kid had straight A's the last semester, 4.0.
Lead is 8, and Dick, if you press and don't get anything out of it, it can kill you.
Mike, take a look right here. We're going to see a trap being formed right here. And this is the pass. He's looking for this guy. He's going to step up. The diagonal pass is the first way of beating the trap. Now, there's the diagonal pass. But they're not done. Now they go to the second phase. Freeze it right here. And he is looking for this man to come here to finalize and get the conversion. And there it is, the jam. Just a perfect clinic on how to attack the pressure. There's another look with the jam, the diagonal pass. They get an A+ on attacking pressure.
Michigan ball and an 8-point lead.
Riley
got 54 to go in the game.
Riley gets the score, but Jalen Rose did a great job.
Jackson all the way to the basket. Riley with a foul, and I think they'll get Riley with a foul. They do. Over the back 2 on Riley. And he got smacked in the mouth for his trouble. Oh, no, they're going to call it on Webb. Excuse me.
They might have got away with one right there, and a big one. What a turnaround that can be. Winters goes out of the game. He's favoring that ankle, Mike. He really is favoring the ankle, Eric Riley. Shooting the free throw.
And they called the foul on Winters reaching in, and that's 5 on Winters.
Played a solid game, 14 points, 4 rebounds. Used his body really well inside, 6'5", great jumper.
Well, there was a huge turnaround. It could have gone the other way. It's 71-61. Michigan now by 10.
Michigan really has played better in the last 2 minutes, coming down a winning time than Iowa.
Val Barnes misses the 3 badly. Another rebound for Jackson. You know, he has 11. That is a career high in rebounds for Ray Jackson.
What all the Michigan kids do well, Mike, they can really peel the ball off the glass and then take the rock and bring it up the court. They off the dribble. They really do a great job. Oh, wide open.
Tough pass by King. Great catch by Riley. The jam and the foul.
Little back cut. Riley comes off the back screen. Again, perfect execution by Michigan. Never losing their points playing without Weber. Watch Riley now, going to come off the back screen. Freeze it right here. Take a look at him. There he is right now, coming right to the goal. And there's the little lob. They dump it inside. King gets it to him. A little head fake, keeps his feet on the ground, doesn't walk. Hey, he's been very positive off the bench.
Certainly has.
That's why they may all have Havlicek team, one of the best 6 men in college basketball.
2 out of 4 from the line. The lead is grown to a dozen. They'll try back the other way. The alley is to Kenyon Murray.
Boy, KM could really sky. He's a skywalker, a high riser, Kenyon Murray.
Murray has 11. But now the clock is the big enemy for the Hawkeyes of Iowa.
Well, now Michigan's got to really show poise. Bring the ball back out, stretch the court, open it up. This is where Duke and Indiana, they play so well when it gets late in the game. Oh, that's a nice play right there. See, now he's smart. He brings it out.
Barnes nearly got the steal. They all seem to handle the ball very well, Vic.
Yeah, they're all pretty good passing teams, especially their big people.
Yeah.
They're very mobile, too, and very agile.
Shot clock at 11.
And they're not fragile.
Are they hostile?
They are hostile.
And they're good. Howard.
What's the way to finish it? Oh, what just superb. I mean, that's just superb execution. Run the clock down, get the high percentage shot, put it in your #1 option.
Jawan Howard with another sensational night.
He's just getting more and more confidence, getting better and better.
Nice catch by Jackson. He's done it all this evening.
That's what we mean about being a good athlete. Having great hand-eye coordination, good lateral speed, good up and down speed, good jumping ability.
Under 2 minutes to go, Michigan by 12. AC Earl got a piece of that block. Another follow won't go. Jackson, he'll get the foul on Earl.
Jackson having a big, big night. You know, Mike, a little trivia. Right now, when you talk about the Michigan team, 3 of their players are insured. The NCAA now pays and allows the players to be insured to protect them in case of an injury if they are rated in a certain way. For example, Chris Webber is given the highest rating, that he's a lottery selection, so he can get $2.7 million worth of insurance, and that's what he has. In the case of Jawan Howard, who applied for insurance, and also Jalen Rose, they are given $500,000 they are insured for in case of an injury to protect them for their future.
It's cab money in the NBA, isn't it?
But I think it's great that they allowed it to happen. Hey, McCaffrey versus Houston. I want to go watch that.
Well, we can see it. It comes up right after this ball game. Number 7, Vanderbilt against Tennessee. 15 out of 22 from the line as a team. Now make it 15 out of 23. 13-point lead, 1:36 to go in the game. Val Barnes gets one from inside. They've done a great job defensing him tonight.
Well, they've done a great job taking away the three-point look out of Barnes. He has not been able to get the good look. He's had to get all his shots off a little dribble penetration because his play's so tough. They're hugging him. We call that hugging a guy and making him dribble.
Michigan handles it very well, this kind of situation.
Well, that's why Michigan can make up really almost for the lack of a point guard, because they got so many ball handlers and so many skilled athletes.
And they're also tall. They can hold the ball over their head and not be threatened. Jackson, great pass to Rose.
That was just a super pass. He led him perfectly to the left hand. He's a left-handed player.
Jalen Rose has 16 foul. Barnes with a left-handed foul.
Notice that right up on Barnes, making him dribble and drive, not get the good look for the three.
And he certainly can't hurt you inside as much as he can outside.
As Chris Webber relegated to the bench tonight, fouled out. But I'll tell you one thing, there's the smile on his face. He's an unselfish player, not worried about statistics, worried about winning. In fact, that's one of the trademarks. And the other thing that's positive about this team, there's no envy. These players are not envious of each other.
That may be the best thing about these kids, and I think that's amazing on the part of Steve Fisher, that you could take this much talent, put it together all at once, bench some seniors like Pelinka and Voskuhl and Riley, and still have that teamwork.
What about Talley? Talley, we haven't seen all night on the bench. Started 2 years ago. Oh, there's that. They like hitting the head. They like always banging the guys on the top of the head. That must be a good look. Kane! They're putting a clinic on here in the last 4 minutes. Steve Fisher has to be happy with their play at the end of this game.
Jalen Rose got the steal and nearly the layup. Barnes will try a three. Webb got the tip. Earl with a foul. And Iowa wants a timeout with 20 seconds left to go in the game. It's Michigan by 10. The Wolverines on their way to their 23rd win. By 10 over Iowa, 20.8 seconds left, and Michigan still has Michigan State, Illinois, and Northwestern remaining. They could conceivably end up with 26 wins during the regular season.
Well, if they run that table, they really have a great chance to be a #1 seed, deservedly so, when you look at the quality wins of beating North Carolina, beating Kansas. Hey, think about this in terms of trivia. Think about this. Michigan in 1989 lost to Indiana. As we look at the remaining games for Iowa, they're a lock in the tournament, just a matter of where they get seeded. Maybe the #3 or #4 seed. But in 1989, Mike, they lost by 1 point twice to Indiana. And you know what happened that year? They won the national title, baby. This year they lost twice to Indiana by 1 point. That's by the way of Terry Mills, who told a reporter that. He got all over one of the reporters here from Detroit. He said, heck, don't knock them down. We did the same thing in '89. Last night, Mills had 41 points. He was unbelievable. I watched that game.
80-70, Iowa trying to steal the inbound pass, and they do. 3-point shot out of the corner will cut it to 7, and they'll call another timeout with 14 seconds left.
You know, there's the big three. I would like to see them put a rule in like the NBA. Last two
by 7. I hate to be nitpicking, but when you said they should make it like the NBA rule and stop the clock, I think the pertinent question is when.
Oh, you know what I mean, after a score. I think after a score, my partner get all over me here during the break, laughing his head off. But I had no time. We're producing screaming, we got to get out for commercial. They never give me any 18. They never give me any
No, you never get to talk. It's awful.
It's unbelievable.
80-73, 14 seconds. Stranger things than this have happened.
Now, this is academic. This is history. There's no way they blow this lead. And you can ask North Carolina one year when they beat Duke. Weren't they down 7 or something?
Down 9, I believe, with 21 seconds to go, or something awful like that. 4 seconds to go, and Juwan Howard clobbered as he went in the middle, and the smile on the face of Kenyon Murray. He doesn't want a fight out of it. He was just trying to stop the slam.
And he picks him up. He says, I didn't mean to hurt you, Juwan. Juwan says, I'm big and strong. Look at Phil Bova jumping in here. Phil sees the same barber I do. Look at that. He pays $6 for that hairdo. I go for 8 a pop. I get mine shine. Hey, Steve Fisher, he's shining. I'll tell you it is. What numbers he has. The big question mark with this Michigan team. Will they be intact next year? Many of the reporters now are starting to believe that Webber may be coming back to school, that they really believe he may be coming back.
I think it'll be great for Michigan and for Chris Webber. 18 points, 17 rebounds for Juwan Howard.
I personally think, the more I think about it and talking to people, I have sources in town, if they were to win the national title, then I think he would go to the NBA. If they don't win the national title, I think he enjoys life on a college campus and we'll be back.
82-73. This one will not count. Michigan has gone to 23-4. Iowa 19-7. Our final score: Michigan 82, Iowa 73. For Dick Vitale, this is Mike.